Happy Friday! Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can't hear me. I'm trying our live on a new device today, so hopefully you guys will be able to see everything and it'll be still just as good. But yes, we have a new setup today, so yay to that! We have a couple things that we're going to do today, and if you saw the preview of our post around 4 o'clock, you may have seen some of the things that we're going to talk about, but I did not spin the wheel from last Friday's live, so we are going to spin that today. And it's going to be at the end of this Friday live. We'll spin the wheel for all those people that commented and participated in last week's Friday live. And I've entered them, all those names, into our wheel of names spinner, and then we're gonna see who wins the giveaway. Every once in a while on our Friday lives, we do this, and we go. I want to see if I can see the comments. Okay, gotcha. All right. So anyway, every once in a while on Friday Lives, we will do a giveaway. It's not every Friday Live, but it's probably once a month we will do a Friday Live. But thank you guys so much for joining us and participating in our Friday Lives. My name's Ellen, and I'm from Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet. And on Fridays, we go live to tell you what's happening, what's new at the store, what's new with your birds, all that kind of good stuff. And since we're having this spring-like weather, it's kind of interesting, right? Lots of rain today, but nonetheless, the feeders were very busy. We even had ducks swimming up here by our patio area. The concrete is sinking in one area, and it kind of got flooded with rainwater today, and the ducks were swimming in there and foraging for all sorts of things, probably insects and things that were in that water, which was kind of fun and interesting to watch. So that is so cool. Very cool. Let us know in the comments what your birds were doing these past 2 rainy days, and since we're having warmer weather, I'd love to hear from you guys what you're seeing, what you're not seeing, all that kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments. Real quick, I want to go over some of the new items that we're starting to get in. It's actually kind of fun. We have quite more to put out still, so it's going to be starting to trickle back out again. But I really wanted to show you these couple things that just came in today. Do you see those beautiful mallards over there? Now, one of them's the flying mallard. We showed you the standing mallard last Friday, but then also we got in a wood duck. Look at how handsome he is. Perfect, all metal, coated, but they're made to go outside. So they're made to be in your yard and kind of decorative. Love him. He's so handsome. So gotta come and check those out. We did get in something new, and since Mother's Day is, believe it or not, it'll be around the corner before we know it, we did get in some nail filers. These are kind of interesting. Some of them have butterflies. Some of them have the hummingbirds. Some of them have other different birds on there. But these nail filers are like $1.50, and they're the nice ones. Really thick, double-sided, nice, good emery boards. They are here at the store. They're not available online, okay? Most of this stuff I'm going to be showing you is new items that are coming in, are going to be only available in store, so you got to come in and check it out. Oh, good to hear. Lots of birds are out. Lots of cardinals for summer. Are you putting out cardinal confetti by chance? We've been having a lot of people reporting lots of cardinals, especially using the new cardinal confetti. So that's cool. Wanted to show you these new, I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it, how beautiful. These are new porch boards. Those welcome signs, and I'm going to kind of raise it up so you can see the beautiful decorated. I love the chickadees, but the color on this is absolutely stunning. It is like a cream white color. It actually looks kind of rusticy, like the background of it, and the print on there is just beautiful. I think I need a new one, right? So we have a couple of these in store again, and back by popular demand because we got in those roosting pockets a couple of weeks ago, and they flew out, I think, the very next day. I think we only had a few left after the Friday Live when we introduced them. But they are back in stock too. I'm going to show you them again. Remember the Big Daddy? We have the Big Daddy here. We have this little acorn guy. And then we have the cone, or the hive it's called. So they're back in stock, so if you need more of these guys, they're here. If you didn't hear last time when we talked about these roosting pockets, these essentially are going to be a shelter for birds during this cold weather or rainy weather that we're having. They'll come in here, they'll seek shelter. It's a perfect little roost for winter. You know, we talk about winter roosts, and they're not meant to be, you know, they're not living in it, they're not hanging out in it like they would in nesting season, right? These are like a one-night motel, hotel, Holiday Inn, right? They're one-time uses pretty much, or maybe for a couple nights or a couple days if the weather is really, really cold. But it won't be like nesting season. But I would definitely place it somewhere in your yard, maybe where it has a little bit of cover, but somewhere where you're going to see them coming in and out. It'll be really fun. Hey everyone, great to see you. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday, Kathleen, for sure then. Yeah, lots of new stuff coming in, and probably by Tuesday I'll have majority of it out already. Tomorrow might be a little bit tough since we have something really big that's starting tomorrow. Let's talk about that real quick. Put this stuff down with my hands. Tomorrow starts our February bird food sale. Where's my sign? Bird food sale. I know I don't think I switched the mirror, but it might be backwards for you guys, but if not, awesome. So tomorrow starts our February bird food sale. It's available in store or online. All of our bird food products go 15% off for the whole 1st through the 15th. Now, if you're a Daily Savings Club member, you get a bit of a bigger discount, right? You get that 15 plus that additional 5% off all the sale prices, okay? And on top of that, you get an extended sale. So it won't go just till the 15th for DSC members. That sale goes until the end of February. Woohoo! It pays to be on Daily Savings Club, guys. Not only do you get every day 15% off of all your food, every day is a seed sale, right? But on days that we do have our bird food sales, you guys get that extra 5% sales, and you get an extended sale with us. So something you guys can take advantage in store or online for February. So take advantage of it while it's here. Another thing that we are starting in February, at least for the first 2 weeks, we'll see how it goes, but we have a special feeder that's going to go on sale for 20% off. Our new Cardinal Confetti seed tube feeder. This one is going to be 20% off. Guys, this is the same Quick Connect, Quick Clean base that we were talking about with all those other seed tube feeders that we have. These Quick Clean bases pull out really easy for cleaning. I love this one. This is one of my favorite new feeders, but I'll be showing my other truly favorite feeder tonight. We'll talk all about it. Promise. All right, pinky swear. But this Cardinal Confetti C2 feeder has those perfect wide perches. That's excellent for cardinals. They love that wide perch because they don't really like stick perches. They have to sideways eat, and they really don't like that as much. That wide perch is much more liked by the cardinals. So when you offer that wide perch with that Cardinal Confetti seed in here, or pretty much any other seed blend could go into this seed tube feeder, but this is a great one, and these are going to be 20% off in store and online starting tomorrow, okay? Starting tomorrow while supplies last. So yay, if you haven't gotten one, this is your time to get one, okay? Perfect, perfect. All right, some of the events that we have coming up, all of our February events are now officially up and running on our website and on Facebook. So if you want to check out all the events that we have going on in February, you certainly can. Tomorrow I'm presenting on the secret love life of birds. It's going to be a great presentation. It's going to be here in the store. I will try to obviously put it out on Facebook for all of you that can't make it, but there's obviously no guarantees. I always try to, but if there ever is a hiccup, that's why. Okay? There was a hiccup. But also in the month of February, we of course will have a bird outing at our local Rock Run Preserve on Monday morning on the 10th. And then in February is a pretty cool activity that happens. You may be familiar with it and you may have heard me talk about it before, but it's the Great Backyard Bird Count. And man, is it great. And it's great for a couple of reasons. Let's talk about that real quick. Why is it so great? Well, one, it's a count, right? So you're going to count your birds. You're making them count. You're putting them on the list. They get added to it. It's a big deal, right? But the Great Backyard Bird Count, what all citizen science projects do is we're collecting data for long-term use, right? So it's a long-term record. And in the Great Backyard Bird Count, scientists can see all this data that we've entered in, and they can learn about migration patterns. They can learn about how, bird populations. They can learn about movement patterns. They can learn, how well birds are faring. And that's the big thing. With 3 billion birds lost since 1970, and that number just increases. One thing that we can do is just watch and count birds. I know. I didn't believe it either that there was such a thing that they actually wanted us to watch and count the birds, right? It's a real thing that you can participate in, and anyone, no matter what level or how old you are, you can participate. And I think it's a really fun thing to do with families, with kids, or if you have an elderly parent or grandparent that loves the birds. This is a great activity. You don't need a lot of knowledge on birds. Obviously, some ID help can help, but it's not totally necessary because we have a lot of tools in our toolkit to help us with it. But exactly how does it work? So how it works is, number one, count birds, right? Count the birds is the big part of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to count birds anywhere where you are. It could be while you're on a walk for 15 minutes. It can be at your house for 15 minutes. It could be here at the store for 15 minutes. But essentially, you're going to count birds for at least 15 minutes. However you're doing it, wherever you are doing it. It does not matter where you do it. It does not have to be your own backyard. I know it says the backyard bird count, but it does not have to be your backyard. It could be a forest preserve. It could be a nature center. It could be anywhere where you see birds, okay? That's number one. Number two is you're going to make your best estimate on the amount of birds that you're seeing in that area. And what type of species they are. So there's a couple of tools that can help with this, okay? One, obviously, we have to count how many. So if 4 chickadees come, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, if it's a larger flock, maybe it's geese that have kind of come into the area. You're going to make your best guesstimate on how many geese are in that area. And the best guess is going to be better than just, 50. Try to do your best estimate on how many. It's going to be the best accurate count, okay? Now, for helping with ID, we do have a couple tools. On your phone, on a smartphone, you can get a free app by Cornell, who monitors and runs the Project Feeder Watch. They also monitor and watch the Project Feeder Watch program, too. And their free app, Merlin ID, it's a free app, and you have 3 different ways you can ID birds. So one, you could take a picture and upload it, or take a picture in the app of the bird, and it will do its best job at guessing that bird for you. You could answer a couple questions. Maybe it's the size of the bird, it's where you saw it, was it on the ground, or is it flying, what was it doing, the color of it, and it will likely come up with some ideas on what it might be for you. And my favorite way Merlin works to help ID birds is by sound. And in real time, you can open up the recording and have it listen to the birds that you're trying to ID, and it will play in real time what it is. It is fairly accurate, I would say. It's pretty accurate, and it's really, really great tool, okay? So that's number 2. You're watching those birds, you're going to count them, you're going to make your best estimate on what they are and how many you're seeing. And then the third most important step in the backyard bird count is entering that data. And there's a couple ways you can enter the data using a couple of the tools. And one of the tools that we just talked about, Merlin ID, yep. But essentially, you're going to enter that data, that your list, your count, what species you saw and how many you saw on birdcount.org. Now, birdcount.org is the overseeing site for backyard bird count, but it's also many citizen science projects. They also run Merlin ID and eBird. Okay, so you can enter your count via Merlin ID. It is a little less detailed, and you're not going to be able to enter necessarily a number count. So if you saw 4 of something, you're really only going to be able to enter in 1 on Merlin. Okay, but nonetheless, you can still enter that count on Merlin. The other ways you can do it is by entering it on eBird. eBird has a free app that you can use, or you can enter it on eBird on a desktop or laptop. Okay, this is where you can really input that list. You can put special notes about maybe something interesting you saw, or, maybe it was a leucistic bird, or maybe it was, something that isn't normally there. You want to put extra notes in it. You can do a lot more of that there. Now, a couple things, resources for you is that here at the store, we are going to be doing a how-to session both Friday and Saturday, the 7th and 8th, from 5 to 9 both days. So if you want to come in the store, you need help setting up your eBird, or you want help downloading Merlin, or you want to learn exactly what the steps are, how to count, how to enter that count in, this is the time to come in. Okay, because we can go through detail, we can help you log into your own account, we can do all that stuff and set time dedicated to this project, okay? It's totally free. All you just come in with whatever supplies. If you have your phone, bring your phone in, we can get that started. If you have ever signed into Merlin ID or eBird, you already have an account, and we can just recover that account and keep using it, okay? So it's really easy. Come on in and take advantage of that how-to class. It'll be really fun. It'll feel more confident so that when the actual backyard bird count happens, which starts the 14th of February, which is a Friday, and it ends on the 17th. It's a 4-day count. Okay, 4-day count that you can count birds. You can count as many times as you like. You can add as many lists and counts as you like. You can do it, okay? It's be really fun, very helpful to scientists since they can't be everywhere. We're going to be the scientists for those 4 days, all right? Plus, I think it's really fun, and it's a great way to connect to the nature and to the birds that we see almost every day anyway. So I think it's a really great way to make them count and to do something more for our birds, okay? So it's the 14th through the 17th. That's when the actual count is going on. And if you still aren't sure or not sure if you want to or how to do it still, you can definitely come in and participate at our store's Great Backyard Bird Count, since we will be counting at the store Friday through Monday, the 14th through the 17th, in the store. So you can count at home, you can count here, you can count both places. Okay, we would love to have you come and help participate in our store's Backyard Bird Count event. We are actually on the map on Cornell for the Backyard Bird Count. We have a pin drop on their map for this event that we're hosting. So please come in, take advantage of it. We'd love to see you count the birds and take advantage of that great citizen science project. Another great resource that I want to point out, I shared it earlier this week, but there is going to be a Facebook Live presented by Jim Carpenter, the CEO and founder of Wild Birds Unlimited, and our Wild Birds Unlimited chief naturalist, Brian Cunningham, on February 12th. Okay, it's at, I want to say it's 1 p.m. Eastern, so it's 12 o'clock noon our time. And during this live, they're going to be talking about the Great Backyard Bird Count. So if you want a little bit more information or add to, I also believe that they are going to be watching the Cornell Project Feeder Watch feeders during the live and doing a mock count. So again, if you would like help or information on how to count that or get another practice in, that's going to be another great resource. Anyone can participate, anyone can join it. It's obviously a free Zoom to participate in that. It's not going to be living on our page, although I will share it. But it's going to be actually done on the official Wild Birds Unlimited Inc. So if you search Wild Birds Unlimited, you're going to try to look for one that does not have the city at the end of it. Okay, if otherwise, go on our page and scroll down to that event that I shared, and that will direct you to that page. Again, I'll try to share it on the 12th right before it goes so that everyone has it fresh and can find the page, find the live. All right, but it's a great participation. You got big participation points from your birds if you do the backyard bird count. I heard them, they told me. Okay. All right, let's get down to it. The main event today is we're talking all about the Eliminator. I'm going to clear off some space because I want to make sure I have enough space to do some of this work. We're going to be talking all about, ooh, maybe I need to lower you down just a smidgen. All right, come with me real quick. Hold on. I'm going to get you at a nice height so you can see everything. If I step back just a little bit. All right, Eliminator. We're talking about one of my favorite feeders tonight. Tonight, we're talking about the Eliminator. This is one of the best squirrel-proof feeders on the market, and it's just not my personal opinion, but it truthfully has been tried and true. It has been tested by many bird lovers and bird feeders. This is one of the best on the market. Okay, we're going to open one together, brand spanking new. I'm going to go through assembling it. I'm going to go through disassembling it, how to clean it. We're going to go through how to adjust tension. Okay, because a couple weeks ago when I talked about starling defenses, I talked about how I use my Eliminator, right? I use my Eliminator as a way to limit how many starlings eat on my feeder. Okay, I adjust my tension so that only one starling can eat on it. Okay, if two comes, the ports close. This is a feeder that works on tension. Okay, so when an animal or a bird that's too heavy sits on it, it's going to close it. Okay, if we set it appropriately. So let's talk about that Eliminator real quick. We're going to open one up together and we're going to go through it all right? Like I'm straight taking it right from the box, brand new. All the packaging is still on here. Okay. All right. So we take out some packaging. When we take out the lid, it is not connected, so we'll talk about the lid. And then we're going to pull out the feeder itself. Cardinal ring. We'll talk about that here. And the Eliminator itself. Yes, there are some instructions in here. I'm going to pull them out just for the sake of talking about it because obviously we don't need that right now. So we're just going to take it out just for the moment. Put it over there. All right. So let's talk about the Eliminator real quick. Can you see everything okay? You may need to lower you just a smidgen more, just so that make sure because some of this stuff has to do with on the bottom of the feeder, and I want to make sure that you guys can see it perfectly. All right, perfect. I think that's good. It's more important that you see the feeder than it is to see me, okay? All right, so let's talk about this real quick. All right. Eliminator comes with this feeder, a tube style, these ports. You can actually see the feeder, the closing mechanism is working already. Okay, it's spring activated. So these perches here, if you actually push down, you can see that inside these ports, you see that metal part right there, that shiny metal part, it means that the port is closed and access to the food is now gone. Okay, when I let go of the bottom and it snaps back up and those holes are now open and dark, that means that obviously the tension is released and the birds or critters, if it will, and whoever is eating on the feeder is able to access that food. Okay, so let's put it all together and talk about it. Or rather, maybe I'll disassemble it first, right? So let's say that you've got this feeder, we're going to disassemble it for cleaning. So obviously I have my lid off already, but if it were connected, and if it is, this hook part, this yellow hook, come a little closer so you can see. In this lid, there is a rod, right? A rod that has this hook with a yellow piece at the bottom there. We'll make sure I'm going the right way. Right here. We're going to hook this hook onto the top of the Eliminator. See that little metal bar there? We're hooking it right on there. Hook it, and it just falls right down, right? It hooks and it falls. Now I'm just going to tighten it to tighten it. So just put it on and twist it, and it's on. It's tight. It's not coming off. Now let's say we're going to disassemble it because we're going to clean it. Let's do that real quick. So we're taking that top off. Just turn it, pop it out. We're going to unclip that hook from that bar and set it aside because we don't need it right this second. To take off this tube, what you're going to look for is these little arrows. See that arrow there? Whoop, where is it? Right here. You see that arrow? There's one on the other side that matches. Okay, you see that guy? If you follow that arrow down, and it's right in here, you see that? There's that little latch. And on either side, where that arrow is, there is a latch. Right there. Okay? We're going to push those. Okay, so I'm going to put it down here. I'm just taking my pointer fingers and pushing those, where those arrows are, those little tabs, and I'm holding down to this little collar here. And I'm just going to push in. And if you saw, it just pops kind of out, right? Let's do that again real quick. Just pops right out. And that's how you get the tube out, all right? At this point, when you've got it to this point of this feeder, this is pretty much all you need to do to clean it. Now, there is one step that you could take a little bit further, and I'll kind of go through that if you wanted to know. But this is exactly pretty much all you need to do to clean it. You could take off the collar, and you can get in there. You can see that inside here is a lot of holes. There's drainage in there so that your seed can breathe and it doesn't get clogged or it doesn't get moldy and gross inside. There is some ventilation in there. But at this point in the disassembly process, this is probably as far as you need to go unless you really know you got some gunk and debris underneath that little compartment in here, and you know it's underneath it, that it might be something else in there. We can take that apart further. I'm going to show you that real quick, okay? On the bottom of your Eliminator is this dial. It's like a thumb screw, right? We're going to twist it loose, okay? If you unscrew this completely, this middle rod actually comes out, okay? So let's do that real quick, just to show you. Unscrew that rod, right? That thumb screw, and then just lift up. And that is essentially how you take apart all of these. Okay, now you can, at this point, then unscrew all of these perches. But for the sake of this video, I am not going to do that because we don't really need to do that. Okay, so once we got that all cleaned out and done, you can then stick this part. This is the part where your that screw part is going to screw in underneath. Okay, that's where you're going to stick that guy back into that hole and put it in. Okay, sits right back in. Now we don't want to forget, we're going to put that screw part, that thumb screw part, back in here and see that bottom little screw that was on the bottom of the rod. We're going to put that right back over it and tighten it up. Now, a warning about this tightening is that it just needs to be finger tight. We don't need to really crank it. You don't need to use any special tools. In fact, if you do go too hard on it, it can actually break that little plastic, that little post that we're screwing onto. So just be conscious of that when you're playing with that bottom part, to just tighten it until it feels tight and it's good to go, okay? So now that we're at this part, because at this point, this is a great view to see this middle tension rod. And that's where we're talking about tension and changing the tension. Okay, I'm going to come a little close. I want to show you something. Okay. All right, perfect. So when you get your Eliminator, it's set at factory setting. So if you can see right here where that red nut is actually set for factory setting. Factory setting is going to prevent most of our squirrels in our area, our grays and stuff, to not be able to access this feeder. Let's say that you are going to increase the tension, make a greater tension to want to allow larger birds to eat off of it. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to look at these plus and minuses here. Okay, plus means, and going that in that direction, following that arrow this way, is going to increase the tension, right? Greater tension, think greater plus means more birds allowed. Your bigger birds are going to be allowed to eat on this feeder if we turn this middle piece, this little right here, if we turn it towards the plus sign, we're going to allow more birds access to eat off of it. Meaning that when they sit on it, it's not going to close for them if you want to allow the large birds. Okay, so watch this red nut here move when I turn it towards the plus sign. Okay, plus sign goes that way, so we're going to turn it that way. Do you see it moving down? It is moving down. So it was right at that, pretty much at that middle line, and now it's right below that middle line, and we can keep going and moving that red nut down. Okay, the more we move it down, the more larger birds are going to be able to access that feeder. It's important to know that no matter where you're going up, if you're trying to increase the tension or lessen the tension, which we'll talk about soon, you never want to go below the bottom line, and you never want to go above the top line. One, it's just not going to be as effective, and it's not going to, the feeder won't work as well for you, okay? So now let's talk about wanting to lessen the tension. We're going to only allow small birds. We're going to eliminate the starlings from eating at our feeder. Okay, in that case, you're going to want to turn your center dial towards the minus sign. Think minus, less birds allowed. Okay, so let's turn that and see what happens. Make sure I'm turning the right way. And see that red nut going up a little higher? Now it's at almost the middle mark. It's almost above. And now we're in that kind of in between the middle line and the top. Now, when it comes to tensioning, and you are wanting to eliminate or allow certain birds, this tension and where it's going to lie may be different for you. Okay, I know a couple of you were asking me where what do I have mine set to? Well, the thing is that in this piece right here, you'll see is that spring. And depending if your feeder is new or older, might depend on how tight that spring is and how much more you need to either tighten or lessen the tension. All right, so it will, to eliminate starlings and the blackbirds, you will likely be somewhere in between these, the middle line and the top line. It just is going to depend on your feeder. You're going to probably have to play with it just a little bit, and a little bit over time, just turn a little bit here and a little bit here until it works for your situation. All right. So that is the big thing on tensions. Let's assemble it and put it all together now, okay? So we got that bottom nut on. This is in here. Now we got to put our collar back on. So we're going to slide that collar back on. Now, a thing to note before I put the collar on is that you're going to want to line up those arrows, right? You want to line up these little, this is where we're pinching, right? We are pushing that, this tab in to allow the tube to come up. We're going to put it on the same way. If you look inside here, maybe like this. These little things right here, they have a little bit of yellow on them. These are where we're going to try to line it up. Okay, we're going to line up our tube so that these slide right onto those posts. Now, when you're putting it in there, try to do your best job, but if it doesn't fit right and you're feeling like you have to force it, don't. Okay? It'll be very difficult to try to take out that tube if it's not put in the right way. So just go slow and take your time and it will work just fine. Okay, it's pretty simple. I just want to make it aware. So I'm putting the collar back on here, but when you do that, you can still see inside. It may be hard on this view, but you can still see where those tabs are supposed to go. So right here, I'm going to line it up, put my tube back in there, and slide it in, and see, it basically slid it right into place. You'll hear that click. Let's talk a little bit about the cardinal ring. Okay, let's talk about this cardinal ring, okay? This cardinal ring comes in two pieces. Now, this is an older one, but for the sake of this video, because once you put it together, it is kind of tricky to get it apart. For the sake of the video, I'm using an older ring for this, just to show, okay? So when you get it, you're going to take these two pieces and put them together. These tabs will click right in here. So you're just going to push it together, just like that, and it's good to go. This is a cardinal ring. Remember we talked about with cardinals that they like that forward-facing eating, right? Not so much those stick perches. That's exactly what this ring is for. Is to make cardinals and other birds a little bit more comfortable eating from the feeder than just hanging from these little perches. Okay, let's put on the cardinal ring. To do it, the easiest way is to turn this little thumb screw just slightly. You don't need to back it all the way out, but just a little bit, because when you do that, it makes turning these perches very easy, and I mean really easy. Okay, they come right out. So what I'm going to do, I'm take my cardinal ring and set it down in the middle of the bottom of my feeder. You see, it's sitting here, and I'm just setting my Eliminator right down on it. In this cardinal ring feeder, you will see these little holes. Yep, if you thought we're going to line them up, you sure are correct. So we're going to line them up as best as we can. Does not have to be perfect at this point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick two perches on opposite sides of each other, and I'm going to extend them out by turning them, right? Just turning them out. You will see that they start to go. Now this is probably the trickiest task of the whole putting together, is trying to get the cardinal ring on, just because it's kind of a little bit of a play game. I like to pull a little bit out and get it started by putting one in and then the other in. And once you got one side of pair of perches in the cardinal ring, you're pretty much set and golden from there. It just kind of is a little bit of playing to get the perches the length that you need it. 1 second as I do this one. Almost there. Just need a little bit more. Okay, now that I've gotten 2 of my perches in, you can see it's still not on all the way. I'm going to do the same with the rest of the perches. Just turn them until they put into place. I'm going to come a little closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm just turning the perch until it's going to hit and lock in this cardinal ring. Okay, just like that, a little at a time. If you go around, you'll be able to get in all of them. It's really important to remember that after you've got your cardinal ring on and all the perches are extended out, that we re-lock the nut. Okay, and I mean just turn it until it's a finger tight. Okay, the reason is that if you don't, there's a possibility that a couple things happen. Most of the time what happens is that your cardinal ring will fall off because over time, with the perches not being locked in, as they land on here, they're going to slowly back the perch back out. So it's either going to turn too much out or too much in. You may lose a perch, you may lose the ring itself. That can happen if you don't tighten this back up after you adjust your ring. All right, the other thing that can happen is you might actually lose this piece altogether. Now, yes, these are our eliminators are under a warranty. They're limited lifetime warranty. So most of the time we can replace them here on the spot with parts. So that's a thing. But just want to let you know that could happen, okay? So make sure do things in order, do things step by step. We can always walk you through it and make sure you always tighten that nut. Oh, it looks like I didn't actually, I think I was too far up. So let's get in there again. And I want to realign this. Somehow I wasn't quite in line. Let's get back on here real quick. See, even the pros have issues sometimes, right? I'm going to just turn it until I get into my cardinal ring. Perfect. Now, what's left is just adding seed. And yes, you can use, I use our Perfect Scoopers and fill this up. It holds 3 pounds of food. It is quite a lot. There's quite a lot of cups of food that can go into this. That's one of my favorite things about the Eliminator is that it can hold so much seed. What do I put in my Eliminator, you might be asking? And the thing is I use my most premium blend, right? I'll use no messes. Right now I'm putting the Cardinal Confetti in there. But essentially any seed blend can go in here with an exception. And here's my exceptions, okay? Is anything with fruit in it. Okay, I've tried this feeder several times with different blends of seed. And I will say that Plus blends, Choice Plus, with those cranberries and cherries and all those different fruits in there, the dried fruit, that can cause clumping and it can cause your Eliminator towards the bottom of the ports to get clogged. Same with seed blends that have tree nuts in large sizes. So sometimes Choice Plus comes with those big walnuts or big almonds that aren't chopped enough. Oftentimes, this would get clogged near the bottom with all those big nuts and things, okay? So my recommendation is using a no mess, like one of our regular no messes, no mess CC. You could use pretty much any seed blend. I've used Choice Plus plenty of times in there. Like I said, I'm using Cardinal Confetti in there. I've used Winter Super Blend in there. I've used Nesting Super Blend in there when we get into nesting season. But a lot of those will still work. I have tried Tree Nutty, and I think it just depends on how well they chop those nuts, because it seems like it wasn't consistent. right? So sometimes it would clog, sometimes it wouldn't. And just like I said, I think it just depends on that mix and how well it was chopped in that creation at the supplier. Okay, that's really that. I hope that was easy for you guys and you can understand that how easy it was. If you guys have any questions on the Eliminator, it's a really great feeder. It's one of my favorite feeders, in fact. So lots of good stuff to. I'm just going to loosen it up to get that cardinal ring off. I almost have it all the way off. But because it was an old one, I want to make sure I take it off so it's not put together for someone that comes and grabs this new one. Like I said, we took out the new cardinal ring perch. This one is the one that came with that feeder. So I just want to make sure I take this off and don't forget to not put it in there, right? But it's a really great feeder. I really, really recommend it. Real quick, I want to show you, come over here to our other squirrel-proof feeders. And we just want to quickly go over two things on them. Okay, one is our fundamental, this one right here. This brown one is our fundamental 2. It's a close cousin of the Eliminator. This one has a little bit smaller of a capacity, but nonetheless it has the same idea. Works on tension. This one, you cannot adjust the tension like you can with the Eliminator. So it's already preset for squirrels and it's set for squirrels. Okay, but again, great option for squirrel-proof feeders. 2 is our absolute. This one is also an excellent squirrel-proof feeder. I like this one too for 2 reasons. Is because not only can you hang it like it's shown, but underneath here, you'll see the holes that you can mount it. You can pole mount it. You can pole mount the Eliminator. And there is an option for an additional weather guard that simply goes right on it, just like this, right? Doesn't come with it, but you can purchase it separately as a separate weather dome just for your Eliminator. This one, this absolute, on both sides here, you'll see where you can adjust the tension. What's nice about it is that you can actually set one side to perhaps be more, have less tension so that smaller birds only have access to it. But maybe on the other side, you're going to allow larger birds to eat from it. So it's kind of cool that you can actually adjust the settings for each sides of this hopper style squirrel-proof feeder. Okay, really cool. With all the problems, because I know many of you are having squirrel problems, there's a couple things going on. Some of our squirrels have babies this time of year. Yes, babies already. So a couple of them are having babies, and that's maybe why they're extra large out there. So there's that, okay? There's obviously, when we have snow cover, it's a little bit more hard and more difficult, more challenging for squirrels to find food that they've hidden. They don't have the capacity to remember where they hid that food like your birds do, okay? Squirrels find food that they've hidden or food that other critters have hidden by smell, all right? So that's that. Now, the other thing that's going on is that, remember we had cicadas last year? And not only did the birds get to have many more rounds of young, the squirrels too, they too eat cicadas. And with that cicadas coming out, they also, the squirrels, had more young, meaning more mouths to feed. What happens when the cicadas have emerged, they mate, and then the females lay eggs. And what I recently learned in a recent article is that because the cicadas laid eggs in the trees, it kind of acts like a hard prune. And with that hard prune means that the tree will not produce as much fruit or nuts, right? They mostly produce acorns or walnuts and things like that. They did not produce as much fruit as they normally would. So what does that mean for squirrels? They have more young. There's, less natural food to begin with available. They are coming to your feeders in droves. And yes, we are hearing about some squirrels eating the hot pepper. And it's not to cause an alarm, because sometimes they can. But if it's a mom and she needs to feed young or needs to produce milk or needs to fatten up because she has young inside her, they're going to do it. The hot pepper is not meant to harm them. Okay, it's just as spicy. It's meant to deter them that they won't like it. But it's not a foolproof guarantee sometimes. And we understand that. So sometimes it's, it's that kind of a thing. But with squirrel proof feeders, what's nice about it is that you can put that really highly coveted seed blend, like that winter blend or cardinal confetti in it, and you don't have to worry about the squirrels and the critters going for it like you may with the hot pepper or other seed blends. Okay, over time, if you have used hot pepper a lot in your yard, sometimes the squirrels can get a little bit desensitized to it. And it's okay to back off hot for a little bit and then reintroduce it in a couple weeks to kind of jump that heat again for them. All right. I know I like that green hopper too, Valerie. It's one of my favorites. my parents had it first. I actually installed it at Pilcher Park for them, since we sponsor those feeders over at Pilcher Park Nature Center. So you can go check that one out in action. It's actually mounted on a pole. So really kind of cool way to keep squirrels out and other birds, right? Another thing to think about with the Eliminator, as I wanted to mention too, we talked about the tension as a way to determine or deter the blackbirds or the starlings specifically. But there is another way that you can keep them off of it, right? Without that cardinal ring on, and when we tighten in these, when we turn in these perches a bit more, clearly I didn't tighten up the bottom. See how easy it is to turn them in? Tighten that bottom bit. Yeah, now they're tight. Actually, they make a noise when it's not screwed in. I'll show you. You kind of hear it. It kind of sounds like something's clicking. Okay, that's when it's not tight, right? When it's tight and you're trying to turn them. It makes it a little harder, see? You hear that? That's what it sounds like. You don't hear that when it's loose, okay? You tighten in these perches and make them shorter in. It's going to give a very, very big challenge and possibly a lot of entertainment to watch the blackbirds and other starlings try to eat off of it with the perches very small and without the cardinal ring. Yes, if you do this, you will likely eliminate your cardinals from eating from this. Okay? And that's when I talk about using safflower. Use this without the ring, inviting the smaller birds to still have access at that prize seed blend. But then in a tray feeder or in that new cardinal confetti feeder would be perfect to put safflower. Straight safflower, something that the starlings will not want to enjoy at all, but the cardinals and the grosbeaks and all those finches all love safflower still. Okay? Hope that helped a little bit. Oh, one tidbit, because every time I talk about eliminators or squirrel proofing, and I always get the question about chipmunks. Will the chipmunks be stopped by the eliminator? And the answer is, unfortunately, no. The chipmunks weigh very, very, very little. And even if you were to put that tension all the way to the top, you likely would still have them on there and not be able to feed any birds. So because of that, I recommend using a baffle to deter those determined little chipmunks from eating at your feeders, okay, if that's a problem. Alrighty, let's get to it. We're going to spin the wheel to pick our winner from last Friday night. Want to make sure I got everything else. Oh, I want to mention real quick too, in February, specifically February 13th, that is the second Thursday of the month, and the second Thursday of the month is when the Audubon, our Will County Audubon, has its meeting and program. Okay, they always have a field trip that month, so definitely go check out their website. You can check out, find the link to their website on our store events website. But this coming meeting, the 13th, February 13th, is going to be an excellent presentation on past, present, and future whooping cranes. So they're one of actually the biggest, oldest birds you could possibly have walking on our earth still, and their numbers were down to like 25. They are now back up to about 800 in their species. The number can grow more, but it has slowly come back, and I think it's going to be a really great presentation. It's an excellent presenter, and on top of it, it's a Zoom, so you can actually watch and participate from home during this live. And there's going to be a giveaway during the Zoom. You have to stay till the end to win, but it's no purchase necessary. You just have to be part of that Zoom presentation, and you're going to be entered in to win a drawing. And a couple of the drawings are WBU gift cards. So if you want to win a gift card, all you gotta do is come and join the Audubon meeting. You don't have to join the Audubon, you just have to come to the meeting and see what it's all about, hear about whooping cranes, get some really cool information. I have never thought, oh, that was a horror. No, their programs are so good. You learn so much about them. I am always wanting more leaving the program. So very, very cool, something you're gonna love. I know many of you will love that program, so definitely come check it out. I will definitely be there, so I'll say hi to you on the Zoom. But let's get to it. I put the live on, or the spin the wheel, so if you were part of the Friday Live last week where we talked about how you could be part of that giveaway, your name is on this list. We have a good about 8 people on here. I'm going to spin. We're going to shuffle real quick. And then we're going to spin and see who wins. Who is it? Melanie Marie! Wow, I think that's just too cool. I think you've won a couple, right? Was it last time that we did it? All right. Well, congratulations, Melanie. You're our lucky winner. We will be your prize will be here at the store. I'll send you some instructions after we get off here at the live. But I will see you next Friday. Don't forget, tomorrow we're talking Secret Love Life of Birds. Stop in the store to hear that presentation. Hopefully I can get it on live for you on Facebook. But don't forget, bird food sales starts tomorrow. If you're Daily Savings Club, you get to enjoy it for the whole month long. The 15 plus the 5. If you're not on Daily Savings Club, I'm sorry, but you're only going to have that sale until the 15th. But it's in-store and online. You can take advantage of it however you'd like. We thank you guys so much. Don't forget, new products have come in, so be sure you stop in and check it out. Oh my goodness. Those crazy Spiros. All right, we'll have to investigate and talk about the Spiros next week a little bit more then, huh, Valerie? All right, you guys have a fabulous Friday. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you next Friday for sure. But have fun. Think about backyard bird count. Think about if you'd like to participate. I hope you do. Maybe you'll come and participate at the store and be part of our count. We'd love to have you. All right, guys, you have a great evening. We'll see you next time. Bye now.